Welcome to Quiet Learning. In this video, we take a calm, unhurried look at how trees turn sunlight into food. From the movement of water through roots and leaves, to the chemical reactions inside cells that store energy for growth and repair. There are no visuals you need to focus on and no information you need to remember. This is a low-sensory explanation and is designed to be listened to gently, whether you are resting, working, or simply curious about how living systems quietly sustain themselves. Trees are living systems that build their own food using energy from sunlight. Unlike animals, which must consume organic material, trees are autotrophs. This means they produce complex sugars from simple raw materials, light, water, and carbon dioxide. The process that makes this possible is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis occurs primarily in the leaves, within specialized structures inside plant cells called chloroplasts. These organelles contain chlorophyll, a green pigment, that absorbs light energy, particularly in the red and blue wavelengths of the visible spectrum. Before photosynthesis can occur, raw materials must be delivered to the leaves. Water enters the tree through its roots. Fine root hairs increase surface area and allow water to move into the plant by osmosis. Dissolved within this water are mineral ions, such as nitrate, potassium, magnesium, and phosphate, which are essential for growth and enzyme function. Once inside the roots, water travels upward through a network of narrow tubes called xylem vessels. These vessels run continuously from roots to leaves. Water moves through xylem primarily by transpiration pull. As water evaporates from the leaves, it creates a negative pressure that pulls more water upward, much like drawing liquid through a straw. Cohesion between water molecules and adhesion to the vessel walls help maintain this continuous column.
As water reaches the leaves, it enters a complex internal structure designed to maximize gas exchange and light absorption. Leaves are thin and broad, increasing surface area. Inside, spongy mesophyll cells are loosely packed, creating air spaces that allow gases to move efficiently. Carbon dioxide enters the leaf through tiny pores on the leaf surface called stomata. Each stoma is bordered by two guard cells that regulate opening and closing. When conditions are favorable, such as adequate light and water, the guard cells swell, opening the pore. Carbon dioxide diffuses inward, while oxygen and water vapor diffuse outward. This outward loss of water vapor is called transpiration. While it may seem wasteful, transpiration is essential. It drives the upward movement of water and minerals and helps cool the leaf surface. The tree must carefully balance water loss with carbon dioxide intake, which is why stomatal regulation is critical to survival. Inside the chloroplasts, photosynthesis occurs in two main stages, the light-dependent reactions and the light-independent reactions, often called the Calvin cycle. The light-dependent reactions take place in the thylakoid membranes of the chloroplast. When chlorophyll absorbs light energy, electrons within the pigment become excited. This energy is used to split water molecules in a process known as photolysis. Water is broken into oxygen, protons, and electrons. The oxygen is released as a byproduct into the atmosphere. The energized electrons move through a chain of proteins, releasing energy that is used to produce adenosine triphosphate, a molecule that stores chemical energy. At the same time, another energy-carrying molecule called nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, in its reduced form, is produced. These two molecules temporarily store the energy captured from sunlight.
The Calvin cycle takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast and does not require light directly. Instead, it uses adenosine triphosphate and nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate in its reduced form. Carbon dioxide is fixed, meaning it is chemically attached to a 5-carbon molecule with the help of an enzyme called rubisco. Through a series of reactions, carbon atoms are rearranged and eventually form glucose, a simple sugar. Glucose is the primary food produced by photosynthesis. Some of it is used immediately by the plant for energy through cellular respiration. Some is converted into starch for storage. Other portions are transformed into cellulose for cell walls, lipids for membranes, or combined with nitrogen to form amino acids and proteins. To use glucose for energy, plant cells perform cellular respiration, a process similar to that in animals. This occurs in the mitochondria and involves several stages, including glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. During glycolysis, glucose is broken down into smaller molecules, producing a small amount of adenosine triphosphate. These molecules then enter the Krebs cycle, also known as the citric acid cycle. The Krebs cycle is a circular series of reactions that release carbon dioxide and transfer energy to electron carriers. This energy is eventually used to generate large amounts of adenosine triphosphate during the final stage of respiration. The adenosine triphosphate produced powers growth, repair, nutrient transport, and the synthesis of new tissues. In this way, the energy originally captured from sunlight becomes distributed throughout the tree.
Sugars produced in the leaves must also be transported to other parts of the tree. This occurs through a second vascular system called the phloem. Phloem vessels move sugars dissolved in water from areas of high concentration, such as leaves, to areas of lower concentration, such as roots, developing buds, and growing wood. This movement is driven by pressure differences created by active loading and unloading of sugars. Together, the xylem and phloem form a continuous transport network. Water and minerals move upward, sugars and organic compounds move wherever they are needed. This internal circulation allows trees to grow tall, respond to seasonal changes, and survive for decades or even centuries. Through these combined physical and chemical processes, trees quietly convert light into matter. Sunlight becomes sugar, sugar becomes wood, leaves, roots, and seeds. Oxygen is released, water is cycled, and energy flows through ecosystems. All of this occurs without sound or movement noticeable to the human eye. A steady exchange between light, air, water, and living cells. This has been a quiet explanation of how plants convert sunshine into a usable food source. This essential and complex element of life on Earth is just a collection of simple processes, completed quietly and without fuss. If you found this explanation helpful, you may enjoy other quiet learning explorations of how natural and engineered systems work, told slowly and without distraction. Thank you for listening. This is Quiet Learning.